Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is what I'm going to be doing today, which is an AAP-01. It's probably the most standard actual replica that anyone's ever seen. It's a kind of gas blowback, you know, it's not really, the bolt blows back. So there's no like reciprocating slide, but incredibly fast rate of fire, fires at full auto and semi. You can do a huge amount of stuff with this. And one thing that I found, which we're going to do today, is this 3D print this 3D print file, which is going to turn this into effectively like an MP5 mag taking kind of like carbine version. I'm just doing the lower in this video, and I actually started filming it and then ended up messing up the filming. So you're going to kind of join me like about 10% into the actual build. I'm going to run through quickly what I've done already, but it's basically nothing. But this is from a guy called Firewad, I think is how you pronounce his name, or Firewad. I'll show you quickly his page here, but this is basically what we're going to be building. This is his AAP-01 MP5 lower receiver, and it's €15.99, so around $19, $20 basically. And basically allows us to print this entire lower, where I'm going to be able to put this MP5 mag in. And then we're going to be able to, sorry, you can see my face as well. No, you can't. Hold on, let me just go. Okay, so basically it's just gonna be this little kind of, lower part. We're gonna have either a gas mag or an MP5, or an HPA mag that we can put in here. This is where the BBs are gonna feed, and they're gonna go through to this location. So, when I just do this quickly, you know what I'm gonna do is just make sure we're working, because I think we had an issue there where it was connected to the wrong camera. So we should be good now. So basically, guys, what I'm going to do is show you what I've done. All I did effectively initially is take the pin out of here, out of the magazine. I then removed the the router here for the gas, or the surrounding part. He has a version which comes as part of the print, which instead of having these feed lips on it, has no feed lip. So that was in that position there before. It's now not in there, and I took that out, took the little rubber gasket, put that into that position, and just put that pin back in. The other thing I did was I just basically removed the base plate here, took this spring and guide out of here, and then I just put this base plate onto it. I'll show you at the start of this video here, but he kind of goes through what we're doing in that way. Let me just see here. I'll do a little share screen for you. Where are we? So this is, in fact, what we'll do is we'll go with this, and we'll go with the screen overlay. So you can see here, he takes the magazine. Let me magnify this for you. Takes the magazine, he puts that base plate on. I haven't got one of these HPA adapters yet, but basically I'm just gonna screw that into the bottom of here when I've got mine. It's going to be coming very shortly, but that just means that this mag I can either run on green gas, or I can just do that HPA and just have an HPA line running in. Obviously, I don't want the feed lips feeding BBs, because there are no BBs feeding from this location. They're going to feed from one of these guys, the MP5 mag. So I took the gas router out, put it into the top there like he's doing, and then just reinstalled it. I've got a black like actual router, like rubberized gasket here. He's got a red one. I presume like he's just got an aftermarket mod on his. So then he just put the pin back in, did that. Next thing we did actually is just quickly did the mag catch on here. And again, he's going to show you that in 1 second. But effectively, you know, I was struggling. So I paused the video and then said, hey, let's just pause it and then try and do it, and then the video messed up as it was paused. So I was like, do I take it apart again and rebuild it for you guys? Whereas actually we can just watch his little bit and you can see kind of what I did here. He has a few 3D printed parts that come with this lower kit, if part of that $15.99, which is these, the actual like catch, which is this part here, and the button. And then you need to have a spring and a nut that actually, a bolt that's going to go in there. And then he's going to show us quickly how to install that. So you basically push that into place. You can find this guide on his Discord. So as soon as you buy the file, you can just go onto the Discord and you can watch this video, and like this is basically what I'm doing. I'm just doing the build based on what his video is. And so far it's been going pretty well. I put this in slightly at the wrong angle where he's putting it in now, and it just was catching a little bit. And so that's why I paused it. But you need to have this spring. I've got like a set of springs here and a set of nuts, which I kind of like decided to kind of take apart. This bit I'm not going to need, so I'm just going to put this to one side because that's just going to go on the top. The next video I am going to do a carbine build kit on that, and so that'll be kind of where we really finish this build. But this is just going to be for this lower part now. So as you can see here, it's kind of like how a regular like gas blowback magazine or an AEG magazine catch would work, where it's got a nut that runs through the two. It's got a spring that just sits right in there, and we're just pushing the button, and that spring is just basically moving this little catch there that's going to go in place. So when it's in there, one thing I will say about this kit is like this is very wiggly. I'm going to have to maybe shim this, put some tape into position. But for right now, that is like moving a lot. So it's going to be something I have to, I don't know if he just didn't show it on his, but it'll take these Simon mags. I say that as mine's not taking it. But that is very, very wiggly in that position. So you just may want to be careful. He put some grease onto these positions. So I've got my grease here, and I did that same kind of thing. And that seemed to help a lot, but I just misaligned slightly the button on here, and so it was really messing around. So I kind of got to it and it started to work fine, but I did have to kind of like pause it so you guys didn't have to see it, and unfortunately messed up the video, so you don't get to actually see that, I'm afraid. So that next he's putting the lever in, which is that kind of like MP5 style lever, which I've just now over tightened that. Need to loosen that. Messing up the build as I'm talking to you guys. Okay, that's better. Yeah. Yeah, so it's loose. I need to shim that for sure. So he puts this piece in. You basically just take one of these nuts and just like an M320 mil, I think. He says it on the screen. And then also like an M320 nut, M3 nut, which goes in there. And then next, I'm actually going to take this apart because I know I'm going to have to do that for this part of the build. And I haven't done it. It looks like he's kind of like separated his upper and lower parts there. So I'm going to remove parts of this now just so that we can kind of get to this and I'm not running behind him, which I will be either way. But he is basically, let me put this on something. He is testing that mag. So now this is where we've got to, and I'm going to need to quickly take this apart. So I'm going to show you guys quickly the desk view here of me just basically taking apart this AAP-01. I've done this quite a few times, but I haven't done it for a while. So I need actually to get like a little bowl for my screws and my parts, because I realized like I don't actually have one of those, and I'm going to need to do that for sure. I am going to take out this screw. I need to remember what's going where, but luckily there are so many videos on the AAP-01 and like modding it, building it, doing different stuff with it, that it should be pretty easy to fix. It's just going to be bad for you guys watching the video if that is what I'm doing. That's another one there. I'm going to go with one here. But they're pretty easy to play around with, as I was saying. Like the issues that I have is just the springs. Like springs, I absolutely hate them. I can't stand them at all. And as soon as I do it, I will always lose a spring. It's like the one thing I'm like destined to do every time is to lose a spring. So yeah, sorry about this kind of start of this video, guys, because obviously I'm not really giving you the full build. I did do this for the Groza in a live stream, which was great on Twitch, but I can't really do that on YouTube. So with this one, I just decided let's kind of like do this way, and instead of let me just try and push this out from inside. Instead of doing it, have I taken everything out? Instead of doing it live and then not being able to pause it, then I could just do it straight this way. Unfortunately, that didn't really work very well because I actually ended up having to pause it. This is actually one thing, I've never taken this out, the mag release. So I don't know if this is something where I need to remove this spring. I'm gonna have to look this up in a second if I can't work it out. But I've never actually removed the mag release from this. I've just realized, like, I've put on extensions for it. Do I just pull the spring straight out? No. Oh, okay, so if I push it in further, looks like this will rotate around. So I'm just pushing this fully in, and I'm hoping that I am not breaking it by doing that. It looks like if I push it fully in, then I can kind of like move this spring rod out. And then, yeah, okay, cool. So that little switch is coming out there, the little piece. This is gonna go, I presume I can just pull this straight out now. Oh, okay, they're cool. So that just basically gets held in that little area at the front there. If I can do this here. And then I'm just taking this out. So I need to now do the same thing on here from his video. Place this in here. So that was a good little kind of fix that I did there. No, not fix, shouldn't say that, should I? A little like, just kind of like play around with it and work it out. Often on these, I'll end up not doing that, and I'll do a proper, like, I need to figure out what goes where, which I should have done on that one. But I didn't. I should probably check that this is what I'm supposed to be doing first as well. We didn't put that in that way, did we? I should probably just watch what he's doing, so then I'm actually doing it properly. But I think I'm going to do it this way. This is how you mess the build up, is you kind of just rush it. Okay, so he is putting it in that way. So he's just going, okay, he's going that way. So I'll do it this way as well. We need to... Okay, cool. So we've done that just as he has. That's pushing that into that place there. Place an M4 nut into that location. So let's get an M4 nut. I've got M4 nuts. That's going to be one of these, it looks like. Though this looks too small. Why does that look a lot smaller? It says this is an M5 nut. I feel like this should go here and this should go here. Maybe they've just put it in the wrong locations, because that nut's definitely too small for that space. Yeah, and this one works perfectly. So I'm just going to presume that this is the right one. This is where you're like, right, you should keep your stuff locked up properly and working properly. Okay, so he's done that. We are now going to go with putting the trigger bar It looks like in that location. So I'm going to take the trigger bar out. This is the spring that you just need to be super careful about, this one here. I hate that spring. Okay, so we're going to leave that alone for now, that trigger box. He's taken the trigger bar separate, has he, to the trigger, or he's put the trigger straight in? Let's go back and just see. So no, he's sat the trigger into this trigger well. I may change this trigger. It might be something that I end up doing. It looks like he's positioned that there. He's gone with the spring that I just removed. Okay, hold on. So he's gone there. Sorry, so he has, let's just go back and make sure. Okay, so what was that first bit? Did he put a screw in there? Okay, so yeah, so which screw did he put in? Install original trigger spring. Okay, so we've got that in place. And then use an M2x8 screw to secure. Okay. M2x8 is the third one along. That's not an M2x8. I think this is what we're looking for right here. This guy. So we'll grab one of these, the M2 that we think is an M2x8. We get a smaller one of these guys to do an M2. That's too big, too small. That's too big. No, that's not too small. That's perfect. Okay. So I'm going to go with this. Okay, this is where it all gets like finicky. Okay, so that's now holding that in place. Screw this guy in. Make sure that's not going too far. Perfect. That looks good. Okay, so that's perfect there. We're then going to install an M4x20 screw. Have we got M4s here? M4x20 should be this one. Let's see. I'm hoping this is it. It's like literally whoever packed this actual kit definitely did a very, very bad job of. Okay, so it's almost going directly through there. Okay, so I see. So we're going through here. Yeah, this looks right. It's just whether the length. I should probably like measure these because I do have like a measuring thing right here. Okay, so that's going through there. So hopefully this is good because that is holding that trigger in place. So just bear in mind you are going to need, you know, quite a few of these quite a few of these. That almost looks like it's too long because that's getting in the way of that feed tube there. Okay, let's just see, look, because when I've got it there, try and do this here for you. It looks like it's sticking out too far. So let's see if there's a slightly shorter M4. This might be a better one. Get the right size of this. See if this is a better size. Got greasy hands from that grease now. This almost looks too short now. This is in between the two, so let's go with this guy. Let's go with that there. So that's just a slightly shorter version. If I keep doing these tech videos, hopefully I'll get used to the like sizes of stuff. I'm kind of getting a lot better at that with like hex screws. Although is that too short? Where's his going up to? Let's go back and just see how far out his sticks. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, that looks perfect. So that's just there. So with that, that's going great. Okay, so let's just tighten that slightly. Cool. Right, so now he's putting grease on the inside there. So that's presumably just to stop it rubbing, or if it is going to rub a little bit. I need like a grease applicator. That's probably not a good idea, is it? Let me just do it with my finger. I could regret this later. Okay. Okay, that looks good. Next, install the original lock button. Okay, so we're going to take this guy out of here. I'm trying to remember how we do this one. We need to, just pull it straight out. Okay, so there's another spring here, so I need to be careful of this spring. This one's not as easy to lose. Should never say that just before I'm taking it off. Okay, so this is just gonna go straight onto this little nub. It's like all these like old memories kind of start to come back of like, okay, I remember taking this off at some point off an AAP-01, but I don't exactly remember how to do each bit. I have to shave this down slightly. There's almost like a little bit of print there on that nub. Let me just pick that off. It's almost like from one of the supports. Okay, and that's on. Put this guy there. And that's definitely not going to be quite as smooth as the original because it's obviously got the kind of 3D print thread parts, but that's going there. Let's take the actual hammer here without messing around with it. It looks like we're just slotting that straight down in. I think I need to put this piece here because it needs that, it needs the trigger bar to be in that location. Popping up and out. Again, I think this isn't going to be quite as smooth. It's not like the, what do you call it, the polymer, like printing press or however they do it. You know, it's like a 3D print file, you know, where you've got different ridge lines, etc. So it's never fully going to be this, it's like as smooth going in. Just see how he does it again. So he almost angles it the other way. How did his go straight in so nicely? Okay, that's exactly what I didn't want to happen. Okay, so now I almost lost, or I didn't almost lose that spring, but that's exactly what I didn't want to do, was to get this thing. And that spring almost went. So I've had some real nightmares with this spring before, where it's just shot off. And then you're like looking around on the floor trying to find it for 5 minutes. Okay, so now hopefully that stays in and that's good. He seemed to just drop that in so easily. And the spring again. I'm sure it's going to literally just like slide in as I'm complaining about it. So I need it to go. You AAP-01 guys are probably watching this like, what is he doing? Stop doing that. It just needs to slot back slightly. Oh, have I got it? It's close. Okay, I think we're good. So now that is moving that. Okay, so now he's going to say put the pin back in. Yep, okay. So we're going to put this pin back in this way, which is this one, isn't it? I thought it was this one, but actually I think it is the narrower pin. Yeah, okay, so we're going to take this guy, put it into this location. Sorry, I'm getting this desk very messy right now. I'll put you away. Okay. This is where I'll hit it and it will split. Bye! No, I think it is the other pin. It is the other pin. I was pretty sure it was the other pin. I thought it was the other pin, and then it's the, because this isn't fitting all the way through. So I think we'll go with the other one. Yeah, he's putting that pin in there. No, I think I put the wrong one in that one. Okay, so we'll take that back out again. There we go. Right, that one's out. It's going to go in here. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's flush. Right, so now I think he's going to want us to put the other pin in. Is that right? I've done that one. I think this guy, I presume now, is going to go in here. Yep, that looks good. That's where my head was like, I'm pretty sure it's the other pin that goes in there. Okay, so this is going to go there, there. We don't need this. Uh-oh. Hold on a second. I'm pretty sure that should be, that's doing that there. That's there. I think that hammer should be pulling, and I don't know why it's not. Is that just because it's not got the top on? Looks like heated is. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool, cool. We're good, we're good, we're good. Don't worry, guys. It was just this little catch here. I needed to push that down. It's different on the different trigger boxes. So I was like, okay, I'm not sure which one it is. Okay, cool, done that. Then what we're gonna do is take this little special thing he's got, which is this guy right here. Put this that way. Okay. Make sure it's in the correct way. What did he put underneath that? Okay, let's grab this guy. Right here. Yep. Okay, sorry, we're good to go again. Looks like that's going where? Into that location. Sorry, we need to go again. Okay, well, I've put that in the wrong way. It's a good thing we checked that. That makes a lot more sense. And which bit is going to the front? So he's done that. He's put this in here. Yeah. Okay, it looks like the long bit is on the inside. Okay. Yep, okay, cool. Perfect, got that. Right, install spring from a pen. Okay, so we're gonna need a small spring. So let's see if we can find, let's do that. Okay, let's see if we can find a small spring with my little box of springs. Okay, that's too big, those ones, I think. These ones, how thick is it? I think it could be one of these. So let's have a look and then let's just check these. I think let's go with, I love how it's just the description of like spring from a pen. It's like, okay, great. I don't know what the tension is supposed to be. I'll just kind of guess from looking at your thing. Okay, so he's putting it in there. Okay, so that looks like it fits pretty well. So we'll see. Right, so now, so he's got a PTFE tube and I've got some PTFE tube that I could do that with. I'm gonna try and replace that later because in the print file, he has also allowed the print of this, which is like a tube in there, which is gonna go basically in that same location. So instead of the PTFE tube, I'm gonna go that. The good thing with the PTFE tube, I think, is it's probably more forgiving to get the BBs in there. And it's also a better, like you can actually see the BBs. So I'm gonna maybe play around and cut the same length as that. Top cover, this guy, we're gonna go with this here. Okay, that's working. So I think that's gonna be good. But that's now what it's looking like. And then we're gonna go with that same screw, use an M3 nut. Okay, so we're gonna need an M3 nut. Sorry, these are springs, I don't know why I'm looking at that. M3 nuts, 500 pieces, so we're gonna need one of these. And then so that we're gonna go with there. And then what kind of screw? An M3, but how long? Let's go and see if we've got an M3 countersunk. One that's not too long. I'm thinking like this one maybe, just looking at what he's doing. Okay, so we just lost that nut. No, we didn't. That's going to be too, not long enough, it looks like. So I need a slightly longer one than this. But it's actually like you're using a lot less parts than I thought. I was going to have to use a lot more of this stuff here. And obviously it's not needed because you're not using the same bit. So that's not quite long enough. So maybe that one's the same size. So let's go with this guy. See if this guy will get us in there. Need a smaller one of these. That feels like it's biting nicely. Okay, so I've done that. Let's close this down. So that should now feed in, and we'll see, because I do have some BBs in here. So let's see, and that's fed in nicely. So you can see all the BBs there have kind of come into that zone. If I remove this, we're going to get the 2 BBs, but that's stayed in, which is perfect. Okay, so let's now try this and see if this is actually going to fire. Because all I technically need to do is take that upper, which is here, and we can switch back over now. Let me just remove this. Okay, let me quickly just switch you back to my normal camera. So technically now I think we can just put this in place there, lower this on, which, is it going to fit nicely or is it going to be a bit of a squeeze to get this on? Okay, so that's on. That obviously looks very, very weird. But technically what we could do now is take this gas mag, fill this. I'm going to remove this desk overlay. Oh, I'm going to remove the screen overlay. And now I'm just going to shoot it outside and we'll see if this feeds. So that now effectively can just stay in there full time because that's there. And now if I'm wanting to use it, and obviously this looks ridiculous, I know, it looks horrible. I can just put this guy in here. I do want to mess around with this mag catch and just make sure that we're solid. Because that is, look, it's flicking out. So that mag catch for me is going to be something I'm going to play with. Okay, so that one's in there solid. That kind of looks like a little scorpion, which I think is quite cool. But let me just try it. We'll shoot it out here, guys, and just see if it is. Well, I think it fired, but the actual mag came out. So the actual... Yeah, the mag catch is a real issue here. And it's not feeding. So let me just think what it is. Like the actual gas is pushing the slide on here, but it doesn't seem like it's actually feeding into the upper. This is going to be an absolute nightmare to get it off. BBs aren't, it looks like they're not being taken up by the... I'm going to put that in there. This now isn't feeding them. Okay, so they're getting stuck at the base here. so now that's solidly there. Probably need a gas mag in there, don't I? I just put this in thinking that's all I need. But I need to... Okay, there we go. Okay, that first one fed. You can hear there it's not feeding fully up. So it's definitely I'm having an issue with this feeding up here. And it could just be, again, like I've got a little bit of a, just the thread's not fully sitting there. Not feeding. Putting a lot of BBs in this thing. Okay, so now that sounds like it has fed. And that's just dropping out the end. So it could be that I need to put the hop up on slightly, but that did feed one, and now you can hear the shake. This is just not forcing the BBs up and through it fully. So I think I'm just getting like a feeding like jam or issue here. Because that, you can see that should be tight. Okay, let's try it with this guy. Well, we've had a couple of BBs there, but they've fallen out the end. So I've got a lot of BBs appearing on this piece here. But I just don't know why that's not feeding fully. So you can see there, I'm getting BBs drop. Okay guys, so it's not been the most successful build. What I will do is I'll do a follow-up on this. You know, I might just quickly try and adjust the hop on this. Do I need to do, I'm trying to remember how to adjust the hop up on this thing. Okay, so I think that should have put some hop up on, because sometimes that's the issue, is it's just not getting any like backspin on it. It's not going to fix the feeding issue though. And it could be this, that I need the PTFE tube in here that's going to make it a lot more solid. Okay, so that sounds like it's solid now. Probably need the gas mag in. Probably need some gas in the mag. And then, okay guys, I'm not particularly impressed so far with this thing, I have to say. Okay, that one fired. So it is firing. I just need to tinker with this thing, I think. I mean, it's kind of cool. It's going to look cool with an actual kit on it, but I need to work out this mag release, and I can reprint parts for it. So that could be what I end up needing to do, but I can reprint parts for it. I'm going to play around with it. In the next video, I'm going to do the carbine kit. So hopefully this was interesting for you guys, kind of took you through what it takes to build it. But I'm going to try and put the PTFE tube in, work out the like feeding issue and work out the mag catch issue. But generally, I would say this is pretty cool if you just want to be able to take your AAP-01 and basically have it feed through here and turn it into a MP5. You can also get a version which does the M4 mags. I think it looks weird, but you can do that as well. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. I will see you all very soon in the next video, and have a great day wherever you are. Goodbye.